Hi there, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. We're here in the underbelly. We have just talked to Mapper. And, yeah, it's clear what we want. I want to find the Changing God Sanctuary for Mapper, so he gives us info about Matkina. And for that we have to talk to the Stichus. Again, these insect-like creatures that were right around here somewhere. Oh my god, what's that? Yeah, I would have to go deeper, but... Here, what is that? What is that? You find a jumbled pile of large rocks at the end of this roughly hewn tunnel. The motionless limbs of a Stichus protrude from the mound, the rents in its corpus painted with dried ichor. Move the rocks to uncover the corpse. Can we do that? We're not very good at that. 70%? We might be able to retry it though. So let's try it with us. Hey, it worked. The first rock is the hardest to shift. Once you warm to the task, you are nearly flinging them aside, until you have fully exposed the corpse beneath. Let's examine the uncovered corpse. Clearly the creature was digging this tunnel when the roof collapsed and killed it. Its smaller claw is mangled and smashed, but apart from the crushed thorax and a few gashes in its carapace, the body itself is surprisingly intact. Natural law. The creature's claws left furious gouges in the fallen rocks and surrounding walls. You realize that it intentionally collapsed the tunnel. It wanted to die. Oh, it had a malformed claw maybe, and... Wow. Other than the crushed thorax and mangled claw, the corpse is surprisingly intact. Let's step away. That is really strange. And what is here? Something to find. Some shins. Alright. And more here? No? That's again the creature, right? Yeah, let's step away.
Of course.
Oh, that's crazy. So where's that? Here's the Stichus incursion. Yeah, let's go back. A collapsed tunnel. We have to talk to the Stichus about that, right? Let's not forget the thing with Mapper and the Changing God Sanctuary. That's the main thing we come to check for. And I will also go to this tunnel. Let's see. This tunnel is blocked by debris, but it's loose enough that a burrowing creature could easily push its way through.
Yes, now.
And what's in here? More shins. I will take them all.
Yes.
There we go. H-Kekt. We have found something. Egg friend. H-Kekt whistles. The smell of dust and closed air surrounds it. The creature is clearly glad to see you. Dig deep. Like promise. Rock not as good here. Oh yeah, they move, so... Can you tell me more about the Stichus? Maybe considers the question briefly and then emits a puff of pheromones that smells of soft rock crumbling. Under determined hands it reminds you of resigned acceptance. Speak. H-Kekt will answer. Well, I found a dead Stichus near here. Can you tell me anything about that? Knell tunnel. Broodmate weakened. Could not feed self, could not feed eggs. Digs tunnel to collapse on self. Not want burden, Stichus family. Great head on the creature shakes ponderously, barely strong enough to collapse tunnel. Failed in life, too weak perhaps. Oh my, these Stichus, they are really a little bit cruel, are they? I'd like to ask other questions. Can you take me someplace under the city? Stichus bows, almost scuttling, and the warm smell of cooking rock rises from its back. Friend to Stichus, yes, no pay for you. Free. I've heard that the Changing God had a sanctuary underneath the city. Can you take me there? It bows. Yes, for Stichus friend, yes. Can take to Egg Tunnel, then walk to place, yes? Alright. Mapper, you might get what you want to know. And what's here? Emerging from the freshly dug tunnel, you find yourself in a small chamber with veins of refined metal glimmering around along the ground and walls. Kek turns to face you. Place beyond was egg rooms, hatching chambers. Its claws work up and down slowly. Future Sticha moved far away. Sanctuary on other side of Knot Nest. Oh.
Updated my journal.
What a creepy place, a little bit, right? We can fumble with these
Let's go.
organ pipes or something like that. Warm sinews of light lace the walls, spiraling into the base of a hollow statue. It gleams in the same color as the glowing strands. Faint scratches along the base, about the size of a Stichus claw, suggest they hit the statue while tunneling and could not extract it. Round tubes with apertures of varying sizes connect to a central drum. A soft breeze from the newly dug burrow behind you hums over the openings. The gnarled metallic veins running through the rocky walls deaden the noise from the device. It is unlikely to be heard outside this room. Let's test that thing, right? There's a drum at the center of the statue. Ooh, what does that mean? And oh, we could reach inside. Yeah, let's examine it. Just inside the tube, you feel a piece of loose material. Pulls free with a light tug. Whatever technology this statue represents has worn away by digging and time. The fragments may still be useful to you, and we gain encephalic rush. One ally, usable. Interesting, heals 3 points of intellect. What is that? This pliable synth container is tightly sealed, holding a swirling purple gas. The purple substance is harvested from a vast structure buried beneath the sands of the beyond. Oh, so it's from far away, which seems to constantly replenish, though it is hard to gather. If the container is jammed hard against the surface, it becomes permeable, unleashing the gas within. The original purpose of the gas is not known, but when inhaled by a human being, it provides a rush of mental energy. Oh, very good. Continue. Cylindrical drum and snaking tubes that make up this statue lie idle and silent. Let's change that. Let's blow into one of the apertures. Your stomach flips as a wave of vibrating air puffets you. For a fraction of a second, golden light flows up from the seams into the statue, forming a looping pattern in the center of the drum. As the rumbling continues, energy coruscates along the veins in the rock, running into the device. After a moment, the sound gutters and dies away, but wispy tracings of the pattern continue to glow on the surface. It is approximately the size of a human hand, though the shape is more like a dozen tentacles. Tentacles? Oh. That doesn't seem to be dangerous, right? Let's place our hand there. I mean, we're so curious. The same sound you heard before rattles your gut. It sputters but remains on, the acoustics having deteriorated over the millennia. Though the sound is intermittent, there is something fascinating about it that forces you to pay attention. You easily tear your focus away, but the effect might be stronger if the statue was fully intact, especially on a creature with non-human psychology. Tybit chuckles. That thing reminds me of a lass I once saw playing a flute in iron. I had a pack of gents stumbling after her, downright captivated. Might have been her music, might have been that she didn't have a single stitch on. Still, I remember her smile the most. Yeah, her smile, I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that. What is it with that thing? Soft hypnotic vibrations continue to resonate from the statue. It's too subtle to be felt from more than a few meters away. Before the statue was damaged, the sounds were probably audible over a wider area. We'll leave it alone, thank you. So we have to cross this thing to come to the Changing God's chamber. It's unreachable. Ow! Was that What was that here?
Yes, now.
And what is that? Smooth grey tendrils snake in and out of the rock along this wall, eventually growing out to cover the nearby doorway. Though metallic in texture, the material has grown like a vine or fungus. The individual strands are hard but warm to the touch. An inky black tendril with sparks darting from its tip extends from the blossoming, tightly bound creepers. You might be able to pull it free from the vine. Where do we have quick finger? We have some speed still. Could try to find the grain of the vine and pull against it. Smashing is not our thing. It's more like we have quicker fingers. Let's see. 95. That's great. Let's do it. Running a finger along the tendril, you feel a slight striation that indicates the grain of the vine. Slip a hand around it and pull directly against the weft. It comes cleanly free. The other strands loosen and separate as you move the fragment by them, then wind back together. Micrometal vine fragment. This is a fragment of the organic metal vine you found growing in the Stichus lair. Shows some unusual magnetic properties. Continue. Exploring that.
Let's go.
Oh, we can open it that way. We really have to... I'm sorry, we really have to adjust the graphics a bit. It is so dark for me. There's so much to see here.
Of course.
It seems the organs and like these openings. We have to cross this to come to the changing god's lair, right? We'll leave this room for now. Leave this be. We want to know what's in there. Because we want to stop these murders. Is this... Oh my dear, this place was your creator's. Search it, and search it is exhaustively.
Of course.
So let's do that. Sleek and streamlined, this machine hums with energy. You're fairly certain that it came to life just as you entered the chamber. So it noticed
What is
us.
that song? I've never heard it before.
Lass, if I told you the name, I'd never forgive myself.
And that. Some of the glowing bands on this machine have gone dark. It seems to be dying. The sorrow looms from this skillfully created mural. You can almost feel its clammy tendrils wrapping around your heart. Its inhuman victims twist and writhe, pleading for an impossible mercy. My God. This mural, we need to show this mural probably to our friend,
Yes.
the sculptor. Can we do more there? No. There's something we can find here, it seems. Something lying around. Oh, quite a lot. And a book, the Tome of Singing Thorns. A healing sword. On critical hits, heals 4 points of health on wielder. Wow, that's really crazy good. Sting charge. A light weapon. Based on speed.
I'll
Let's
remember
take that all. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that seems to be... It is... No, leave it. Wait. Borrowed and lost. We have the book Falinda wanted. I have no memory of such a thing, so it seems likely that the changing god was the real culprit. Perhaps when he was wearing the body that is now mine, it seemed important to Falinda that I find and return the book. That is so. Then we have to have a look at the book, right? Where is it? Where is the book? Cannot see the book. Oh, here. Pages of this ancient heavy book rustle, as if waiting to be turned. A cast-off tattoo is inscribed into the title page. Someone has attached a much newer tag to the binding, which reads, "Exclusive property of Falinda and Steristi booksellers." we can use the item. What does happen then? We'll read it. We'll read it. You flip open the cover of the Tome of Singing Thorns. On the title page is a cast-off tattoo, divided into 5 curving triangular shapes, the color of each tide with a small inscription beneath. You try turning the next page to the next page, but can't. It's as if the pages are a solid block of paper. You lay your hand on the title page's rough, somewhat metallic surface. The sharp triangular shapes spring up around your fingers with a vibrating hum. The possibility of losing your fingers to this book was a danger Falinda somehow neglected to mention. Well, read the inscription. It is written in a firm, sharp hand that nearly carved the letters through the page. Symptoms: cyanosis, hemophilia, spontaneous bruising, jaundice, arguria. See her as she was. You do not deserve to forget what you lost. We have to find more about the book before using it. Maybe Falinda and so know more about it. And Steristi. This is really a creepy thing. What's that machine here doing? Wires and cables extend from this device into the rock wall. We'll try to figure out how the machine works. Touching the etched surface reveals a display interface, but it seems unresponsive to your gestures and commands. The display does show a vast network of other devices it must be connected to. If you're reading it correctly, there's a vast array of machines and engines operating somewhere underneath the city. This interface might control them. Oh my god, we could use it. You poke it, swipe it, yell at it, speak gently to it, but the interface is completely unresponsive to your commands. Try it again. No matter what you try, the interface remains unresponsive. Well, leave it. So only the changing god can use this thing. What is this? Look, it's attached with cables everywhere. Cables powering this, and this is blinking.
All right.
Let's have a look at this one. Wow, dramatic music. As you approach the machine, Calistique rushes to examine it more closely. This device, your sire, used it to maintain access to the data sphere. I must know how. Did he leave notes nearby? How does it work? Or we could try to remember where the notes might be. We could ask how does it... Well, let's try that. We have to try at our best. This is something only we can do. We did it. Oh, nice. We got it restored. You're feeling itching at the base of your skull. Suddenly, your right hand starts moving of its own volition, jumping down to touch the nearby floor in a frenzied but purposeful series of movements. Next to your feet, a stone compartment slides open. It reveals a leather-bound journal within. A study in datasphere analysis. Calistique approaches with reverence. May I? She asks, holding out her hands for the book. Well, it belonged to my sire. I'd like to look at it first. I see. She considers you, folding her hands demurely in front of her. Is it because you don't trust me with the knowledge it contains? No, don't answer. I'll find out what it contains eventually. She returns to looking at the Numenera without a backward glance. Continue. But don't think I'll forget. We have to look at it first. This leather-bound journal is filled with various diagrams, notes, and observations. The machines you found near the engines buried beneath Sager's cliffs. The handwriting is your creator's, and it chronicles his analysis of the datasphere, the net of information that surrounds and permeates the world's air. Some people have drawn power from the world, and others have found a way to transmit knowledge in the blink of an eye. It seems that these machines may have been intended to transmit consciousness itself, or at least to take a rudimentary first step in that direction. The exact steps are unclear, though someone with an extensive background in consciousness transfer or machine intelligences might be able to recreate his work. Well, now that we know,
Yourself anyway.
I didn't split, dear.
let's talk to
I
Color
simply
Stieg.
overcame the borders of reality.
Will we lose them then? That would be tragic, but you wanted the changing God's notes in the Dead Sphere? You take them. Tell me about them. She turns it over in her hands, examining every inch of the binding. Your sire always has such marvelous craftsmanship, she murmurs, slowly releasing the drawstring that binds it closed. As she flips through the pages, slowly at first, then faster, you catch sight of diagrams, notations and drawings, all of them of your sire's machines beneath the city of Stichus. Thank you. Color Stieg breathes without looking up and moves away to continue her study of the book's contents. Yes, interesting, huh? She catches you looking at her. His observations on the datasphere as fascinating. Nothing I can share yet, it's purely conjecture. Scan thoughts, this could be what I've been looking for. Even so, that would be something, yeah, what would a scientist say? Probably the last one, right? The information must be powerful, else he wouldn't have hidden it. She has, well put, dear, we shall see. Can I get the book back? She raises an eyebrow and waits. That's all. That's all I wanted to know. Let's move on for now. As you wish, dear. So, let's see what we can find out more in the next episode. About this book, about the book with the tides in it. About everything. So, happy gaming to you. See you in the next episode. Torment Tides of Numenera. Happy gaming.